Let's continue our coverage now. Gabriella Becerra is at the Zips near Central Avenue and Thomas. There was a large group protesting there. Apparently, this protest had already been planned when DHS showed up. Gabby, what's the latest there?
Well, that's right, Mark. Everything is much calmer than what we were seeing earlier. In the last 20 minutes or so, some employees who work here at Zips came out, turned off the lights, and took down the police tape that was put up. They did confirm to me that nobody was taken from this location by federal agents today. I want to show you video of what we were seeing earlier. What we've been told is that some federal agents showed up to this location earlier and temporarily closed it down as they conducted their investigation. Now, it's still unclear exactly what they're looking into here. Some of the employees had no information to offer me right now, but as they were investigating, a group started to form outside on the sidewalk here, and this is at the Park Central location, so a lot of restaurants and shops are in this area. But I was told that there was a protest unrelated to this specific search warrant was happening down the street, and once they got word of what was happening, they made their way over here and they stood on the sidewalk just outside of the restaurant as those federal agents conducted their investigation. Also, though, as I mentioned, because it is a shopping center, there were a lot of people that we saw who just happened to walk by and notice what was happening. There's a gym right next door, so we saw a lot of people in gym clothes coming and going, and they told us they were stopping to either just watch what was going on, document the situation. A lot of people had their phones out recording things. Things kind of got a little more heated once those federal agents walked out of the front gates to their unmarked cars that were parked just in front of the restaurant. Those protesters then started to block the agents from getting into their cars. Some of them were able to get into their cars right away and leave. Others were not as quick. And so those protesters really surrounded them, tried to keep them from leaving as they chanted, waved their signs at them. And then at that point, maybe after 5 or 10 minutes of them unable to get out of this parking lot, they called in for backup, and we saw several unmarked cars with sirens come into the lot, and then a lot of more agents with riot gear came out, walked over to those agents who were not able to get out and help them get into their cars, get out of the situation. Unlike Sean's situation, we did not see any tear gas or pepper balls being deployed, although we did see that they were armed with those materials in case they were needed to use, but we did not see any of those tactics deployed. So as far as everything went here, as soon as those agents were able to get out of here, everything turned peaceful. Everyone got in their cars and pretty much went home. Everything is back to normal out here. Again, nobody, we're told, was taken from this location or arrested or detained. We would need to confirm that with federal officials. We did see them leave with paperwork. So we're still working to learn more information about what exactly they're investigating here at this Zips location. And as soon as we have more information, we'll share it with you, Mark and Kribe.
All right, Gabby, thank you so much for that. So Archer Hayden was at that same location that Gabby was at. Had a slightly different vantage point there, but for the most part, described a similar situation to what Gabby was seeing there. So let's get over to some of that video there. Again, federal authorities there in conducting an investigation at the Zips Sports Bar there. And as Gabby mentioned, it's in an area where there's other, restaurants, and there's a gym there. And so, after a while, there were people kind of congregating, milling about, people from the gym and other restaurants. And of course, that protest that was happening not too far away that eventually made its way over to that Zips location. Once again, blocking some of those federal vehicles from being able to leave out of the parking lot. Some people, gathering in groups and just kind of getting in the way there of some of those federal agents. A couple intense moments, but then it looked like things started to die down. And then eventually you see that calmer situation that Gabby has in her live shot. But again, just some video earlier of when things were starting to get a little bit tense and thankfully de-escalated.
It was a situation, obviously, that could have exploded. There were enough people there, and certainly DHS on high alert after all of the protests that they and their compatriots have been dealing with in Minneapolis. And so I'm sure internal communications say be aware, be on guard, be ready. And they made it clear when they got to Park Central that they were establishing a perimeter and trying to get their agents out of there safely. And thankfully, no arrests as far as we know. We'll continue to cover this throughout the night and the coming days here on 12.